is Clara Towson, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
I am Francisca George, and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Susan Leemans, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom. Yeah.
My name is Zainab Sammaz, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hey guys, my name is Sasha Vickery, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hi, my name is Lloyd Harris, and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Jan Faria, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Yes.
Take one. Well done.
Hi, my name is Jasmine Paulini, and I'm a friend of the show.
Wow, Jasmine, you got it in one time.
Ready? Play.
Well, hello there, and welcome to Ready Play. And today I am joined by, our new friend Fergus and our old friend Ashley. Fergus, how are you doing?
I'm sleep deprived and excited. That's my two main feelings at the moment.
Welcome to being a tennis fan at the Australian Open.
I know. Yeah, that's about it, really.
Ashley, how are you? How's your sleep schedule?
I am not sleep deprived because I prioritize sleep, and I am doing fine.
Now, the question is, have you managed to watch, so if you just not watched any night sessions, Ashley?
No, not really.
It's not commitment to the cause. It's not commitment to the cause, right there.
Did you wake up in time to see any of Lerner Tien versus Daniel Medvedev?
I woke up at 7 a.m.
Oh, we lost.
It was like
we
the
lost
fifth
her.
set,
Oh, no, we
I
got her.
think. So yeah, I woke up rather at like 7 o'clock in the morning when it was still on the television.
Yeah. It probably would have been at that point, yeah, because I think it probably would have started at like 2 a.m., maybe earlier for you. So yeah, that was a long match.
Yeah.
Yep.
We got Jake in the chat. Hello. Yes. Nice to see you. Do you know what? I was going to say this now because he's playing today. I was super impressed that Lerner Tien then went on to win his following match because I thought he would be cooked.
Yeah, no, actually, to be fair, I thought he would be too, but it looks like, well, I guess because there's two sides to the scale that, like, he's young, so he's got loads of energy, he could go forever, and then there's young that means his body's underdeveloped and he can't do it for a long period of time, which is almost like what happened with Fonseca, in a way. But Tien looks like he's still got loads left in the tank, so I think he can give Sonego a run for his money today.
Yeah. I mean, Fergus, you're about these guys' age, correct?
I am. Yeah.
You reckon you could bounce back from a tough 3 a.m. stint?
You know, I would back myself to, if I had half the ability of Lerner Tien, I'd back myself to come out there next morning from 3 a.m. and, you know, give it my all. So
you and I have both been to university. Well, I've been to university. I remember what it was like. I wasn't playing tennis at 3 a.m., but I was having to bounce back from other things.
Yeah, well, we could talk about that all night, but you know,
yeah.
Let's not bring that up right now.
No, that's for another time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, okay, I guess where to start? We're kind of in an interesting spot because we're coming to the end of the fourth round. I believe we haven't had much of a chance to discuss kind of any thoughts on the channel about sort of the Novak Djokovic incident from yesterday, refusing to do a on-court interview, walking straight off after his match, Danielle Collins, US Open style. I guess this is something that people are talking about. Ashley, do you have any thoughts on it?
Yeah, so this is a rather messy situation. As someone who's like actively, practicing journalism and has been fortunate enough to work for several news outlets, I described this whole situation to a group of friends as water cooler talk. That's like one of my phrases, as stuff that just should not be said on air. I mean, yeah, I'm not going to tell you to not have an opinion on whether or not he's a has-been or he's overrated. People have opinions, but You're a journalist on a nationally syndicated network that is showing that is the main broadcaster of the Australian Open. I think it would have behooved him to, just keep that to himself. And I also just think, yeah, I mean, apparently has a history of saying some off the cuff, really whack things to players, and I just really think that that needs to be taken care of. Um, yeah, that's really just all I had to say on it. But yeah, that's that's water cooler talk is what I like to call it. You keep that with your friends at the water cooler or at the coffee machine in the morning. Yeah.
You don't say it on air.
No.
Yeah, you don't. You really don't. Or even on Twitter or social media or whatever. You just really don't say that stuff. So
What about our Talking Tennis live stream?
I mean, I don't know if we're considered a national news outlet, so I guess we're not held to the same ethical standards as our dear friend here is held to. So if you want to call him a has-been, sure.
I mean, the producer is laughing. That means it's okay, guys. Fergus, what do you think?
I completely agree with Ashley. I think it's obviously a bit different because we're not a national, broadcasting, but that still doesn't give us the right to say that he's as quote unquote has been. Like, that's just not necessary at all. And saying it on live television in front of however many people, that is severely damaging to his reputation and the channel's reputation. He's just jeopardized their channel's reputation of covering tennis. And it's not such you're allowed to have opinions on somebody, but as we see on this channel literally every day when we're talking, we consistently have an open mind about people. We don't give a direct and very closed sense of what people are like and how people perform. So I think Djokovic has every right to be angry. Well, he didn't even look angry. He just looked like he was just a bit like, well, that's not very fair. Like, I'm the most successful man in this sport's history, and you're just saying that I'm not very good. So, yeah, I back Novak in this situation, that he has every right to be annoyed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I add one more thing to the situation? Because I saw a comment in the chat. I just, I have my own personal thoughts about Novak and how he tends to use his fan base as, kind of a jumping off point to maybe garner sympathy in certain situations because he is like this icon in his country. But I also do think, like, in this day and age, as someone who has been fortunate enough to study digital media culture and stuff like that, these athletes are online. These athletes see everything, they hear everything, and they are humans as well. They are allowed to feel what they want to feel. I The apology was issued. I don't know whether it got to him or not before he decided to decline the interview. That's neither here nor there. I don't know the ins and outs of that. I quite frankly just woke up and heard all of this today. But yeah, I think it's a lot of things. I mean, like, I'm not saying that he's necessarily wrong for having an opinion, and I'm also saying that Novak's not wrong for feeling some type of way about that opinion being broadcasted on air. Yeah, so
I think it's very clear that, let's face it, what this guy said wasn't okay. I've never heard of him before, to be honest. Clearly, he's only known in Australia. It looks like there was an apology. I mean, the network is saying the apology got to Novak before he walked off court. But I think even if an apology has been received and accepted, Novak's well within his right to say there's still going to be repercussions for it, which is, you're not going to get any content from me on this day, and you're going to lose some content that you can put out from me because of that. And then we can move on from there. I don't think it's going to be sustainable. I don't think he's going to decline on court interviews from this point onwards. He'll probably continue to do. He'll probably do the next one, depending on whether he beats Carlos Alcaraz like however long it is they play. Schedule's not out yet. It's probably going to be night session on Tuesday on Rod Laver.
I would assume so. Yeah.
Yeah, like that's a match the Indigenous population, Australia will definitely want to see when they get back from work. So yeah, and the rest of the world will want to see. Sorry, Americans, you're gonna have to step till midnight for that one. But
I'm not staying up for that one. I'll just catch the replay in the morning.
actually, that's a good question. Like, how have you been consuming this Australian Open? Are you Ashley, you've said that, like, yeah, do you kind of stay up until like it's time to sleep and then you'll catch up on any night sessions on replays? Is that about right? Yeah.
Yes. So like up until maybe like midnight. If a match is really, really good and it's someone that I'm interested in, I'll push to 1. But typically like midnight is like where I'm like, okay, it's time to wind down. And then I'll wake up in the morning, as I'm drinking my coffee, I'll look through the scores and I'll pick a match that I want to like go back and watch in full, or like watch the extended highlights or whatever. I can watch some matches in full because I'm fortunate to have ESPN Plus. But yeah, that's typically how I go about it. Just, I look through the scores and I pick some highlights that I want to watch, and yeah, consume that. I'm trying to get back on a sleep regimen because I'm starting a new job next week. So that's kind of why I'm like, I can't watch too many late night matches. So
what about you, Fergus?
I've been consuming as much as possible, pretty much. Yeah, usually if there's a match that I'm pretty invested in straight up or that starts at midnight, particularly either British interest or just a personal favorite, I'd stay up, watch that match, and then I'd sort of just set alarms for when players that I want to follow were playing. So some days I'd get around like 2.5 hours sleep, and then it's become easier since it's only Draper and Raducanu in the tournament. Just sort of waking up, and then I usually wake up around like 7 or 8, and then catch like obviously the 9-10 matches that start on Rod Laver, like the last match or 2 that's on Rod Laver or Margaret Court. I always tune in for as much as that as possible. So I watched the ending of I was up for Draper Alcaraz this morning, and then went to bed after Draper was struggling, but we're not talking about that. And then watched Lehečka, Djokovic, but yeah, I've been consuming basically just as much as possible.
I've been kind of going more down the Ashley route. I have been going to bed unless I'm doing a ready play kind of, sensible time, sleeping through, waking up. Then Discovery Plus, I will look up the app and see how long the matches I'm interested in were, and going, if it was a good one, I'll watch the replay of that before I go to work. Basically, so I just pick a match that I want to watch beforehand after checking live scores and making sure there's no epic happening when I've woken up. So that's kind of where I've gone with it. I did try and stay up for a couple of matches. I stayed up for Iga Swiatek versus Rebecca Shramkova because I knew that was going to be fairly short, so I didn't have to stay up that long. And then I tried the next day for Sabalenka-Towson because I thought that could be an upset. And I fell asleep midway through the first set, despite the fact that we were breaking each other at every game, which was more a reflection of how tired I was rather than my views of the actual match, which I thought was quite good. And it was when I woke up and found they were in the first set tiebreak, I was like, yeah, I'm not going to survive this. I'm going to have to just watch it anyway. So this is what happens when you cross the 30 threshold, just to warn you guys. But yeah, so I think we're kind of in a similar kind of boat, just watching what we can that we're able to really. Yeah, okay. I think that's probably all the Novak stuff, isn't it? So again, Ashley, I'll throw it to you, like just sort of a random thing. Other than the tennis and the Australian Open, is there anything else that's kind of caught your eye that you've been enjoying watching this Australian Open?
Yeah, this was one of our talking points, but the fashion has been kind of hit or miss for me this Australian Open. I think the standout is obviously Miss Coco Gauff and her Lara Croft, if you will, outfit with the cargo skirt and the cutout.
She's the only one who's turned up with an actual designer outfit.
Yes, and it's absolutely gorgeous on her. I love it on her, especially the neon. The neon one that she wears for nights gives me throwbacks to Serena. I think in 2015, where she had the neon green in the backless kind of situation. But yeah, the s- the Nike kits. Oh my god, they're so bad. They're
They're
so bad.
terrible. Absolutely
Oh
terrible. I feel bad for Sabalenka, like best player in the world, and Nike have given that. That's rough.
yeah, best player in the world. Won the past two Australian Opens. Has a U.S. Open title now, and, and you give her that. You're like, here you go. Um, but oh man, oh Nike, what are we gonna do with you?
There are. I really don't like Iga's outfit either. I think it suits Iga and Shelton are wearing the exact same thing. Obviously, just like men's and women's differ, but I think it suits Shelton. But I really don't think it works for Iga, unfortunately.
Now I don't know. Well, I don't know if I've seen it too many ego matches. I can't recall what she has on, but I do remember what Ben has on, and I would tend to agree with you. I also historically just don't like on kits. I think they are just basically like, oh, here's a tie dye accident from like when you were in fifth grade. Let's make it into a design.
Did Adidas do that a while back as well?
Wait, who?
Adidas.
I didn't. Well, yeah, but I don't expect anything from Adidas at this point. They just put out whatever and just hope for the best. But yeah, I think Coco's is like the best out there.
I would agree.
Her kid is just it's pristine. It's just I
There's
love it, and
Iga's.
the shoes.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah,
I don't like
it's
it.
just the skirt. The skirt is kind of fun. The design of the skirt, not the color. The color
I
ruins it.
I saw something the other day that said, should it be like not allowed that players can't wear all white unless it's Wimbledon? Because like
Mm.
I know Draper and Raducanu have been wearing white, just off the top of my head, and I know there's been a couple others that have been wearing like purely white. And somebody was like, it should only be that you wear only white at Wimbledon. And I actually agree. I think that's, as in, I think it just differentiates itself from the other slams in a sense.
I don't know if I care that much. TBH.
No,
I
I'm
like
not.
like I uh like okay, like honestly wearing white at Wimbledon, that's fine. That's the tradition and I respect it. And I think some of the white kits that I've seen at Wimbledon have been some of my favorite tennis kits of all time. But outside of Wimbledon, I don't know. Like I mean, if it depends. If you want to wear the white, wear the white. But I can see why somebody would want it to be at Wimbledon only because it's so synonymous with Wimbledon. I just know I don't care that much.
We've got Clever in the chat saying thoughts on Mukova's all red Adidas outfit, which I think, yeah, all the Adidas players have got a similar sort of red, all red with like a couple of cutouts about the shoulder, which I don't know why those are there. I don't understand why you would do that. I don't know whether it's just a fashion thing or whether it's a movement thing.
Cutouts have been coming back in fashion, like across all boards. And as someone who is anti cutout, like on me specifically, it kind of sucks. Um, but I like a good monochromatic moment. I like the red that was on her specifically. The cutouts just was not it for me.
I think
Also, to
Svitolina's
answer,
wearing the same thing. Pegula was wearing the
yeah,
same thing.
yes. There was a question in the chat with Ghosty. I'm Coco is almost 21. She's grown in every single country except for America, her home country. Um, if she wants to show skin, that's allowed. That's her. I do think there's a conversation to be had. I don't know if this is the platform for it about the hypersexualization of female athletes in media in particular. But I mean, she's going out there, she's playing tennis. This is not the first time she's done like a cutout. outfit before. I'm trying to remember if it was a U.S. Open or an Australian Open where she had cutouts. It might have actually been at Wimbledon, but whatever. Um, so, but yeah, I mean, she can wear what she wants to wear. That's kind of like my take on it. But yeah,
Yeah, I think there's a yeah. I think it's I think and that's the most important thing is that athletes wear what they want to wear, and I think certainly if you're a big enough athlete, you should definitely be able to have that kind of sway. I do get the sense that like the manufacturers just give them like, oh, here's what we've made, pick which one you want type thing. Sometimes that doesn't always work out, like Bianca Andreescu walking out in one Nike dress on court, hating it, and going back and changing clothes as soon as she walked out on court. It was like the US Open or something like right a couple year or two
that
ago.
that that was so real of her because the dress that she was wearing was not cute at all. Oh, that was so real of her. But yeah, I'm a big fashion person, so I'm always looking at the fashion, and I'll end this tangent here on
I
that.
will. I'm quite happy to let you two talk about it because I have no opinions on the subject. I genuinely do not care what the tennis players are wearing at all, because you know that's never been something that's caught my attention. Something that did catch my attention though was something that John was sharing earlier. What do you guys make of this animated Nintendo Wii tennis highlights that the Australian Open are doing? Like, what is that?
It's so funny. Like, it's because like the Australian Open doesn't hold the rights to like show like their matches on Eurosport or like the stream them pure. I don't know. It's something to do with rights and streaming, but so they just make them Wii characters instead. And I saw on Sabalenka's Instagram, like, I look a bit different in this stream, guys. And she posted a
the, the
photo of the Wii character. I
the
think it's just
green and
ridiculous.
blonde hair.
Didn't
The greenish blonde hair is just really cracking me up. As someone who is like a major American sports fan, like there's been a rise of like animated, broadcast of events. The NBA did one on Christmas. The NFL has been doing them for like a few years now, where they'll either have it on Nickelodeon or they'll have it on a different channel. I think it's a fun way to get like more casual people into the sport, especially with all the wacky hijinks that comes with the technology. There was one where was it Jack Draper where he like just fell into the ground. I think that was going viral around Twitter.
I think Madison
When he
Keys
was
did a
go-
somersault.
yeah, I think it's fun. Like honestly, I more ways to bring people's eyes to the sport that isn't just sitting and watching a very stuffy broadcast. I'm all for. So
It is funny. I'll give them that. It is funny.
Yeah. It's a good fun. It like gives us some laughs. I do find it somewhat odd, and it gives us more of an insight into kind of the tangled mess of broadcasting rights and all that with Grand Slams, which again I think Carson and I touched a little bit on when we did Ready Play a couple of days ago. I have noticed that Kren is in the chat. I mean, Ashley, Fergus, have you met Kren yet?
I don't believe I've had the pleasure.
No.
Kren is a very dear friend of the channel, and I think, and in his honor, we should discuss Gael Monfils.
Right.
Of course, we can.
Yeah,
We always want to talk about Gael Monfils.
Yeah,
Kren is,
even if Kren wasn't here, we were going to talk about Gael Memphis.
Yeah.
yeah, it's more Kren. So Kren is the ultimate Monfils believer. And let's face it, who would have thought that, in a world where we were talking all about Novak Djokovic becoming the oldest Grand Slam champion of the Open era, age 38, that would actually get stolen by Gael Monfils?
Really quickly,
Yeah.
Super Dave in the chat has just asked me my opinion on the Draper match. So really quickly, I'm going to do that, and then can we talk about Monfils? Listen, Draper has done so well for the first week to get through 3 5-setters after not playing for nearly 2 months and having started hitting for 10 days before the AO started. I think he's done himself really proud, and he's shown that even though he played so little tennis last year, he was when he played that 5-setter against Giron, he then played Paul the next round. He had beaten Paul in Adelaide earlier, like literally the week before the AO. So it's not like his level wasn't able to compete with Paul. It's that he had nothing left in the tank after one 5-setter. Played 3 5-setters and still ran Alcaraz close in that first set. I think he's making really good strides, and I don't think there'll be a question of his fitness from the rest of the season as long as he stays injury free. It doesn't matter about the length of the matches. It's more he keeps injury free, because I think his stamina is increased massively, and I think his level will be, hopefully by the time we get to Indian Wells, he might, I don't know what sort of run he's going to have because he's down to play in Rotterdam, but I don't know what that'll be like. But if he's fine for Indian Wells, I don't see why he can't put a good run together in Indian Wells, because he likes it there, reach round 4 and 2 years ago, whatever. But I don't think there's something to be worried about there.
There we go. I mean, all I would say about Jack is, yeah, absolutely right. His fitness is spot on, but he really needs to stop going 2-1 down, especially against Mariano Navone on a hard court. Like, the other two are forgivable, but the Navone one was not. So that's the only thing I'll say, only note I have on it. But yeah, so Gael Monfils, 4th round of the Australian Open, first top 5 win since 2008 at a Grand Slam. And that was the French Open when he got to the semis. He's actually now in a really open quarter. He plays Ben Shelton today, then and then the winner of that plays the winner of Sonego Tien. I mean, it would be hilarious and somewhat merited, given how well he played against Taylor Fritz, for him to do that. Yeah, I'm kind of here for it. Also, that celebration dance is one of the best tennis celebrations I have ever seen from anyone. Like, hands down. So, yeah. Ashley, thoughts on the return of Gael Monfils?
This is something that I have been waiting for ever since I've become like a tennis enthusiast. Gael Monfils is like one of the first players where I was like, oh, this is kind of fun to watch. Obviously, Roger and Rafa are there, but Gael, was up there too. Just how he was so entertaining on the court and just some of the shots that he was kind of coming up with. But one of the things that I've had to like wrestle with is that with all of the shot making ability that he has in his arsenal and stuff like that, he's never been able to crack through or get a draw fortunate enough to where he can crack through. And so seeing this now, it's just like absolutely wonderful to see him kind of crack through late in his stage, to give him kind of that motivation that he can probably still hang with, the current generation, the newer up and coming, the Zverevs and the Medvedevs, but also the Sinners and the Alcarazes. He can still hang with the younger people and still be relatively competitive. And I think, Ben Shelton's going to be a test because, the serve +1 is always going to be tricky to crack. But it's been wonderful to see him string together a little bit of a run here in Australia.
Is Monfils the best player ever to not win a Masters title?
Oh, good question. He's up there.
Yeah.
If you can name me someone else that you could consider a better player than Monfils that's never had a Masters title, then fair enough.
Has Richard Gasquet won a Masters?
No, I don't. Or maybe.
I don't think he has.
I don't think he has either, but I also don't think I would put Gasquet above Monfils.
Yeah, is Gasquet better than was Gasquet?
No, I don't think he's better.
Now Bandian's hasn't Bandian won a Masters?
He won the ATP finals.
Okay.
Which is close, the same thing more or less.
Yeah, pretty much the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I don't think Gasquet's better than Monfils. I would put them in the same league, but I wouldn't say he was better. I'm trying to think of other people who were like top 10 back in the day, because Tsonga won a couple, Burdick managed to get one very early in his career. Ferrer managed to get one. Thinking for that group.
Ferrer had a couple, didn't he?
David Ferrer.
Yeah, he had 2, wasn't it? 2 or 3.
2011 Paris Masters, I think.
Oh, was that?
Yeah, I think he only has one. I'm not sure if he has 2.
No, I think he's got the one.
Okay.
Does Alexander Zverev have a Masters? I can't recall.
He has loads. 7.
Okay.
7 or 8 now.
Oh, Jake, you're absolutely right. Kei Nishikori.
Does Nishikori not have a Masters?
No.
Nishikori does not have a Masters.
Okay, well then, I guess Nishikori is the best player to not have a Masters. Unless someone else pulls out a blinder from somewhere.
Sorry for forgetting Kei Nishikori. I'm bad. Forgive us.
Yeah, no, Nishikori does not have a Masters. He nearly did, because I think Madrid, he was like, he was dominating the Dahl and then got injured in the final. It was either 14 or 15, and that ended. Or was it Murray? No, it was Nadal. And then
14 Madrid was Nadal, 15 was Murray.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure, 2014 Madrid was...
2014 Nadal. I just had a chill go up my spine. Oh my God.
Wait, for him being that good or that bad?
He was kind of in the middle of the road. That was kind of like the start of like the downfall that he had in 2015 and
weird dip he had, like his like 20s.
Yeah, like this weird dip. I mean, honestly, good in the first half. I mean, he made the finals of the Australian Open and then, jacked up his back. Trauma. But yes.
Nishikori's best result in a Masters is the semi-final.
No, he's definitely made a final.
I want the record to show, Kren, that I don't think that Kei Nishikori is better than Monfils. I don't think any of the players that we have named are better than
Yeah, that's what they all say.
All right, Fergus, relax.
I think Fergus and I are both looking up Kei Nishikori's
stats.
stats.
Yeah, I am.
Because I'm going off. I've been going off memory up to this point.
Well, maybe instead of this debate, maybe we need to look at the head-to-head between Monfils and Kei Nishikori, and then we can have.
Are you trying to wait? I don't know if I'm definitely not going to come down either side of who is better, Kei Nishikori or Gael Monfils. They're both good for different reasons.
Yeah, they're both good for different reasons, but I also I prefer Monfils. But I may be biased because he has a.
Yeah, I was right. Nishikori's made the 2014 Madrid Open, 2016 Miami Open, and 2016 Canadian Open, and the 2018 Monte Carlo Masters. So he's made 4 Masters finals.
Yeah, I don't know where I got that from then. I've just been lied to. Monfils has Nishikori leads the head-to-head 4-1. 2018 US Open round, second round. Canada Masters in 17, and then Rio Olympics quarterfinals in Miami and Halle.
Where Nishikori won bronze medal in the Rio Olympics.
In Rio, yeah. Del Potro and then Murray got the gold, didn't they?
Yeah. Now,
sorry.
Cleffer, I was going to say, now Bandin, Davydenko, and Sodling have won Masters 1000s. They've all won. If Bandin hasn't won a Masters, he's won the ATP finals, which I'm going to count as similar.
It's on the same. It's practically the same.
I mean, I do actually. I regard it as slightly higher, but.
Would you?
Yeah.
Okay, what do you think winning the ATP finals is better than winning Indian Wells, which is the 4th slam?
Yes.
Okay, fair enough.
Because ATP finals, you have to beat
the best in the world. Yeah. Okay.
3 or 4. You have to beat 3 or 4 top 10 players, even 5 potentially.
Now
and you can't. You don't have to do that in Indian Wells.
Now Bandian has 2 Masters.
There we go.
Madrid and Paris, both in 2007. He beat Federer in the Madrid finals and Nadal in the Paris finals.
That's right. I remember that. You're right.
He bageled Nadal in the final of the Paris Masters.
Now, Bandian has to be in the conversation for best player not to win a slam.
There are loads of players.
There's a lot of players in that debate. That's the problem.
I mean,
that's like half the field right there.
Songa.
It'd be more of a tier list than a ranking.
Yes. Because we can't actually rank. How many Masters does Songa have?
2. He won. I think he won Paris 2008 and Canada 2014.
Yeah, he has 2. What did you say? Paris 2008.
Yeah, Paris 2008 and Canada 2014. That Canada 2014 run was insane because he beat Federer, Murray, and Djokovic. Not in that order. I think it was the other way around. I think he beat Djokovic, then Murray, then Federer.
Yeah, I think that order is correct, Nick.
Yeah,
but nevertheless, regardless of how many Masters Memphis could have won, regardless of how many Masters anybody has won, I think Memphis having this run is just really something special. So it's been one of my favorite underlying storylines of this Australian Open, besides the fashion and all that. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, I agree with that. I think Monfils doing well is one of the best stories that are coming out of this Australian Open, as well as this brand new generation that's all decided to show up at the same time. With Tien and Fonseca, Mensik, Mickelson.
It's like they had a meeting before the AO and said, "Guys, let's all show up just for a laugh."
I've never seen anything like this. I can't think of a Grand Slam where this has happened, where all the promising talent performed at the same time.
I think this historically happens at the Australian Open, though.
Start of a new season, yeah.
Yeah, where young players just kind of burst onto the scene, sort of.
Yeah, but multiple of them, 3, 4 of them.
I mean, we had multiple on the women's side last year.
Okay, yeah, I'm talking men. You're right. Yeah, women's side. Yeah, that's.
Or are we just strictly talking men's? If we're strictly talking men's, then yeah, that's fair. But I always
see on the women's side. You're right as well.
I think the Australian Open provides an opportunity, like Fergus said, it's the start of the season. You can kind of just break through and kind of make it like you're coming out party. Like, hey, here's the skills that I bring to the table. Because as people in the football world like to say, there's not a lot of tape on you. Or if there is, it's it's hard to kind of gauge until you get on the court with somebody. So that's why those first ever matchups in a Grand Slam are always kind of tricky to navigate. But yeah, I mean, I feel like at the Australian Open more so, maybe the U.S. Open as well.
The U.S. Open there as well, because these guys have had a season to build some momentum. The other guys around them are getting tired. They're young and fresh. I'd say US Open's a good shout for them as well.
Yeah.
End of season anyway.
You know who else is also having a great Australian Open? Madison Keys. My good girl, Madison Keys, who has been brought up into the chat by good old Ghosty over here. Listen, I am being cautiously optimistic about Madison Keys. I don't know how any of y'all feel about her in her run. She just beat Danielle Collins. She has Rybakina next. But I said it, I think, it's been a week ago at this point. I said she stays within herself. She's hard to beat. And look, she's staying within herself. And she's hard to beat. So I don't know if y'all have any other thoughts about her run or so far. That potential matchup. Not potential. That matchup with Rybakina that happens later on today.
Yeah. I think a lot of that's going to depend on if this back injury Elena Rybakina says she has is a thing or not. I think she might be exaggerating it, but we'll see. I think definitely under normal circumstances, that match is a barnstormer, and I would call that the must-watch match of the day, Rybakina-Keys. That if I'm going to watch any match, it's going to be that one.
Yes. I didn't realize Rybakina was injured. I have to catch up.
She said that she got injured. She had to time out for her back during the Yastremska match.
Oh yeah,
and then she didn't feel great.
Something about that. Okay. Okay.
But yeah,
I mean,
free pass for Keys, right? Sorry, go on, Fergus.
The only thing I worry about for Keys, well, I have two things to say. The only reason I don't see Keys coming through this match is mainly because I have Rybakina in my final, in my bracket.
Wow.
The other reason is the only reason I think that this could get tight, and if it does get tight, it will swing Rybakina's way, is that Keys has now been playing for 2 and a bit weeks straight. She's obviously won the title in Adelaide, and now she's obviously got through the first week of a slam. She hasn't played like long matches, but still playing consistently for that long, it takes a toll. Not that I'm speaking from experience.
Quarters in Auckland.
Yeah, exactly. Not that I'm speaking from experience about it taking a toll on the body, but you see it in players everywhere, like all over the circuit. So if it does go long, it might be that Keys starts to suffer a little bit, but I see no reason why Keys can't get past Rybakina, and hopefully for her sake, she's been playing some really good tennis.
Yeah, I reckon Keys. If Keys wins this, she's the favourite. I think she could beat Rybakina, and I don't think Rybakina's gonna be the kind of player who makes that match physical. And then after that would be probably Svitolina, who could make things awkward for her, but I would make Keys the favourite in that match. So it's going to depend on how much she has left in the tank in the semis. And we know who's most likely going to be her opponent there. And that's going to be quite intense. But again, she's got the power to disrupt Świątek if that was to happen. So I am willing to to be on the optimistic side of Madison Keys right now. But I do agree with you, Fergus, that maybe that semi-final, she's going to run out of gas at some point.
Yeah, Ghost in the chat saying Raducanu won the US Open after 3 quali matches. Raducanu played 10 matches to win the AO. Keys is already on 14 matches. So, there you go. That's all I have to say on that.
I also think that situation is kind of hard to compare because I think she just came in with a full steam of momentum, and Keys has a rather tricky draw. She's seeing a 6th seed in a 4th round, which is the second week. So she has to just navigate through all of that. But she's on 14 matches. I think she could make a semifinals push, especially if she does get a walkover today. But the stars look like they're aligning for Madison, but I'm just going to be cautiously optimistic about her. Every time I get overly optimistic, she breaks my heart. So I just gotta, I just have to be.
We know what Keys' track record is, so.
I love my girl, but she scares me.
I think definitely this is the one I'm waking up for. Well, I don't know if I wake up for it because it's 3 a.m. my time, so. That would have to be I'm not sleeping for me to watch it live. But that's definitely the one I'm probably going to try and watch back. If it finishes the match, of course. There's so many people who are pessimistic about Rybakina. But then so many people don't know she's injured. I honestly think it's a little bit of she's playing it up and she's probably going to be fine.
It's not like we can tell. She has so little expression on court until the match is either over or her post-match interview. So it's so hard to tell with Rybakina because she is the ice queen, and I love it. Yeah, literally just you could never tell what's going on unless she actually retires. And if she retires from a match, you're like, well, I did not see that coming because she's been fine. But
yeah, she loves a good poker face. We're
She
looking for
she'd be
that.
great at poker. She'd be fantastic at poker.
Yeah, I love it. I just because like it's such a sort of keeping such a sort of a like neutral expression, despite the fact it's probably a very highly stressful situation. Yeah, it's just so giving your opponent absolutely nothing. It must be absolutely flummoxing on the other side of the net.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, as someone who can't do that, I'm impressed. Um, yeah. The other match that could get fairly interesting is on the men's side. How many sets do you think Holger Rune is going to win against Yannick Sinner? 0, 1, 2, or 3?
Not the goose egg. Oh my god.
0.
0. It's a straight sets demolishing of Holger Rune by Yannick
I
Sinner.
actually think it could be. I actually see it being 4, 4, and 1. Like, I genuinely think it could be. If Sinner plays his not even his best tennis, just decent tennis, I see it being 4, 4, and like 2, or like 4, 4, and 7, 6 to make it interesting. But I don't think that Rune has the quality at the moment to, unless you're telling me that Kecmanovic can push Sinner to 5 if he had taken his opportunity to beat Rune.
I mean, don't forget, Kecmanovic did have an epic with Carlos Alcaraz a couple of years ago. It was an over best of 3, but you know, it's not unheard of for Kecmanovic to put some of the top guys through it.
Jake and Kren roasting Rune in the chat. I don't think it's that bad, but I just think Yannick Sinner is that good. That's what I'm trying to say.
I think as the resident Sinner enthusiast here. Hello, hi. If Sinner drops a set to Holger, I think that's more so of Sinner dropping his game to the level of Rune, more so than Rune raising his level. Rune's been kind of in like this like void for a while, ever since he's kind of like broke onto the scene. So I think Sinner would have to have like just a really, really poor set for Rune just to snatch it from him. So I'm going to side with the goose egg over there with Fergus and just say 0. I don't know about 4, 4, and 1, but maybe like 4, 4, or maybe like 7, 6, 6, or 7, 6, 4, 4. I don't know. Maybe.
I reckon there'll be at least one tie break in this match.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go with Rune takes 1 set off Sinner. I think Rune will peak for a set, and then Sinner will reestablish his dominance.
Oh, so you think Rune is going to, what we call in the basketball world, a heat check? He's going to have a heat check for a set and then come back to earth.
Pretty much,
or people call it in tennis a purple patch. I don't know if y'all have heard that.
Yeah.
But
I use purple patch.
If Rune is to win a set, I think it will be in a tiebreak. I don't think Rune has the consistent enough ability to break Sinner, even if he breaks early, to then hold out for the rest of the set. I think Sinner's return game is too strong for Rune to hold on, especially that Rune doesn't have the biggest serve in the game. So I think that it might be that if he does take a set, it will be in a tiebreak. If Rune takes the first set 6-2 now, fair enough. But like,
sound the alarms.
Sound the alarms.
There's going to be panic in the Carrot HQ.
Yeah, not the Carrot HQ. Oh my god.
Yeah. Okay, so that's how we're seeing. Was that how we're seeing that goes? Yeah, Sinner heavy favorite. Okay, one for the home crowd. This is Alex de Minaur's 4th appearance in the 4th round of the Australian Open. He has never been further. Does he win Does he get over that hurdle in the Battle of the Alexes?
I'm really sorry. I need to go get my charger. This is absolutely drained. My laptop is on 50%. It's now on 10. So give me 2 seconds.
Goodbye, Fergus.
Goodbye. I would like to see it. I don't know. I don't know if I can see it happening this year. Well, I think he has a better shot than in years past than to go past the 4th round. I would like to see it personally. I don't know much about Mr. Mickelson. I do apologize. I did not do too much on that match, but I would like to see it. So
Yeah, I think from what I've not actually seen a full Mickelson match either. Obviously, he's 20, he's breaking through. What I gather, he has a very unorthodox game. So, kind of, and as all the younger American guys seem to be showing, really. Yeah, he's at least not your standard American game anyway, of like big serve +1. And yeah, I think Mickelson is a disruptor, but Dimonor is just so quick around the court that I think I don't see that working against him.
Yeah, I don't know if being a disruptor or having an unorthodox or jump ball kind of game, as I like to call it, is really going to benefit Mickelson here. But this is de Minaur's best chance to get to the quarterfinals of the Australian Open, seeing an unseeded young American. Although we did just talk about people bursting onto the scene, this is his best shot getting into the quarterfinals. So I don't know if he's dealing with injuries, as somebody's mentioned in the chat. I don't know that to an extent. But if he's healthy, I think de Minaur can win. I'm not saying in straights, maybe like 4. So yeah.
I agree. This is de Minaur's biggest opportunity. I mean, he played Rublev last year in the 4th round and lost. He got bageled in the last set after being like 2 points away in a tiebreak in the 4th. And obviously he took that. That was rough. But I think this year Mickelson's obviously playing some really, really strong tennis. But I think de Minaur, combined with it being night session on Rod Laver and his opponent being of a lot less quality than Rublev last year at the moment. Obviously Mickelson can get there I'm not too far away from that, but I still think he doesn't hold the same ability that Rublev did last year. I think that de Minaur comes through this in 4 as well. I agree.
Okay. Yeah, I think I would. I think I'd agree with that. 4 sets sounds about right for me in that match. I'm very, very optimistic for de Minaur's prospects of finally making Australian Open quarterfinal, playing to his ranking, and then what happens after that? Yannick Sinner, not a great matchup for him, but he had a good run.
He's currently 0-9 versus Sinner in the head-to-head.
Hey, Casper Ruud was 0-9 against Novak Djokovic.
Yeah, and Ruud now has a singular win over Djokovic. So, maybe this will be the one if they play. Maybe this will be... Well, I mean, there's no better time for de Minaur to pull it out if he is going to do it. So
to win the Australian Open, that would be huge.
Yeah. I mean...
Lost Australian man to win Australian Open, Mark Edmondson in 1976.
Well, that's quite a long time ago. I reckon it would. That's like Murray-esque sort of winning Wimbledon.
Yeah, the Aussies are the ones who now have the longest wait for a home slam champ. Cool. I think play's going to get underway. Well, play studio get underway in 3 minutes. Let's see if we can actually stop the stream before the official start of the Australian Open day for once. Which would happen. So I'm going to get, before we kind of go, are there any matches look ahead of us that, Ashley, you want to give us your thoughts on before we get going?
I think we've already talked about the couple of matches that I'm looking forward to. Hopefully Rybakina can go, because Madison Keys and Rybakina could be a really fun match if Rybakina is healthy and ready to go. But nothing outside of that. Yeah. Oh, and Ben Shelton and Gail Monfils. We talked about.
Oh yeah, thoughts on how that's going to go? That could be quite fun. That one. That's going to get.
Yeah, I think it could go 5. If Monfils brings his best and is able to crack the Shelton serve, which is easy, not easy, but it is breakable. I think that can go 5. It's going to be a lot of highlight shots in that match. So get your popcorn.
Probably going to be a lot of tie breaks as well.
Yes.
Monfils in 5 with a huge forehand down the line.
Nice.
That's how I see it happening.
Hey, Fergus, is that the only other match you think needs looking at before we go?
I actually want to talk about one tomorrow. I want to talk about Paul versus Zverev quickly.
Is this because you don't think you'll be on Ready Play tomorrow?
No, no, that's not. It's not because of that. It's not because of that. It's because I think Paul has been playing really, really well. Obviously, made the semis a couple of years ago in Australia. I mean, and Zverev has been playing really well as well. So I'm interested to see how that goes, to be honest, because I think Paul will try hit through Zverev, which isn't an easy task, but I think that's what Paul will try to do.
All right.
Thanks, Dave. In the chat.
Yeah, best Sinner hair. It's true, actually. I was thinking, oh yeah, we're going for the Yannick Sinner look when we were talking about him earlier. Just less ginger.
Less ginger, yeah.
Also, I do also agree with the comment saying that your background is amazing. As a massive motor racing fan, I approve.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I get more pictures up. So sorry, y'all. Sorry.
I need something on the wall behind me other than my books. So we're all good. The centering of this is very odd.
This backdrop will change, unfortunately, if I am on post tomorrow, unfortunately, because I'm going back to university.
We'll see the truth behind our English university system. I guess my thing tomorrow will be I'm going to be counting how many games Evilise can win against Iga Swiatek. Is it going to be 0? Is it going to be 1? Is it going to be? Are you picking 7 games? It's going to be.
I'm backing her 7 games, 3 and 4.
3 and 4, so not 2 and 5. Or she's going to win on a tie break, or 7 and then get bageled the other 2 sets.
Twice, yeah. Actually, I'll go for 6. I'll go 3 and 3. I reckon she has enough in her to give it some. But yeah,
I reckon we're getting I reckon we're getting some bagels. I reckon 2, maybe 3 games.
Okay.
She can get a solid 5. 3 and 2. I'll go like somewhere in the middle between of y'all.
Yeah, we'll go with that. I don't know. She's definitely improved since Stuttgart when they played before, and she got crushed. But
that was 1-1, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So. Wow. I think we wrap this up. So thanks, both of you, for joining. Thanks, live chat, for all your amazing comments and helping us out with the stream today. So yeah, do join us for coverage of Sinner-Rune, which gets underway with Damien and Vanch, I believe, on a watch along. That's going to get underway in about half an hour to an hour's time. So come back for that. Come back for Last Ball Drops and any other watch alongs we're doing. Last Ball Drops happening later today. And yeah, thanks everyone for watching. I'll see you all next time. In the meantime, take care and keep talking tennis.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis. Hey, thanks for taking the time to, well, you haven't got any choice, actually. I'm just talking at you, if you like. But I'm here also to present to you why I think it's not a bad idea and not that expensive as well if you become a member. And this is how you can do it, and this is what you can gain. So if we look here at the Talking Tennis sort of home page, if you like, on YouTube, we can see this little button here which says join. It is also pinned in the live chat as well, and you can also, I think, see it just below most of our videos, certainly the live ones and so on. Now, why is it a good idea to join and become a member? Well, in the live chat, you can add little funny things, you can add emojis and all sorts of things, but possibly more importantly, you can get to access some live videos, such as this one here, where we look back on the last sort of few moments from the Billie Jean King Cup. So there are little bonuses such as this one, but there are many, many more. And in fact, if we have a quick look at all of the members only stuff, I repeat, you will see very, very quickly some of the top stuff that we've had for members only over the last 12 months since the channel began. Remember, these videos are for members only. You can become a member from as little as about $2 a month, €2 a month, £2 a month, something like that. There are various different things. Oh, and by the way, you'll also be supporting the channel. So it's a win, 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 win scenario. Let me just show you some of the members only stuff. For example, we've got an exclusive little clip there talking to Laura Siegmund, Laura Tsurenko, her encore interview, some doubles footage there from Monastir, the Germany press conference pre-tournament Billie Jean King Cup, Claire Burrell talking as well to the media in her press conference in Monastir, Storm Hunter and Alicia Parks interview, Rebecca Masarova, her press conference, Coco Gauff exclusive for members only, albeit it was in Madrid, but these are just some of the things, some of the interviews and etc. Like Lestien here, a chat with him, Emma Navarro, and so on and so forth. So many little bonus videos available for just €2 a month. So, what are you waiting for? Become a member. Or don't. It's okay.